Okay. There we go. Cool. All right, we're live.
All
So,
right.
hi, I'm Kate from Real Food RN. You can see in my little name tag thing below, and I'm here with my friend Marcy. And we just wanted to talk today about blogging because we get a ton of questions about how to start a blog, and I just came up with the great idea that I wanted to just do a quick video on it, and Arcie's already written an amazing post about it, and she's an awesome blogger who I've been following for a long time, and I just thought she'd be great to do a video together with. So, say hi, Arcie.
Hi, everyone. I'm RC. I blog over Greens and Radishes, and I'm also the author of two cookbooks, The Paleo Slow Cooker and The Paleo Foodie. And I've connected with Kate through blogging, and her blog is amazing. I've learned so much through reading her posts, so I'm excited to be here today with her to tell you guys about how we got into blogging and how we do what we do.
Yes. So, do you want to start with your story, or do you want me to start? Doesn't matter to me.
Sure, you should start. Do you need to put on headphones? I have some right here. Do you think that'll be?
I just do because the mic on my computer is kind of weird, and I don't. Sometimes it's like really quiet, so I always wear headphones.
Okay. Well, you start. I'll plug in my headphones. Yeah. Why don't you go ahead and start?
Well, I mean, this video is totally informal, so we're just going to tell our story and talk about how we personally did it. It's not going to be super techno, like you need to do all this. We're just kind of going over how you can do it. So basically, how I got started, I'm a nurse and a mom, and went into nursing because I was interested in health and health-related topics. And once I got into the field and started practicing as a nurse, I was very frustrated with our state of healthcare. We just push medications, and it's very backwards to what I've always loved learning about, which is natural medicine and natural healing and the way people have been doing it for thousands of years. So I went back to school for holistic nutrition, started up a business with clients, and a lot of what I was teaching people was how to cook and how to eat, because I really think that, I mean, what you put into your body is what becomes you. So if you don't have a good solid foundation of a good diet, you can't really move towards healthy or a better state of health. So a lot of my stuff included recipes, and so I thought, I should just put these online versus I had them all in a folder, and I would email these recipes to my clients. And it was a lot of putsy work, and I'd be looking through trying to find recipes, and I just thought, I'm going to put it all on a blog, which I really didn't even know what I was talking about, like what a blog was, for a place for them to live for my clients. So I can just say, oh, yeah, just go to www.whatever, and you'll find all my recipes. So that's what I started doing. I didn't even know you could make money doing that. And I started getting a following. I found the statistics part in the back end of WordPress, and I was like, wow, like, where are people coming from, like, reading my recipes? And then I'd get comments, and so then I thought, well, I should look into this and make sure I'm doing it right, and that, this could be something. And I found a network of other bloggers that I joined and kind of learned the ropes on how to set things up. And I had just set up a free WordPress site and put my recipes out there, and then the more I learned, and it wasn't like, I mean, I'm medical. I've been medical since I had my first job as a nursing assistant. I'm not technological minded at all. I can figure stuff out, but I didn't know anything about building a website or code or anything like that. And just through networking with my other blogger friends and kind of Googling a lot of stuff, I figured out how to set it all up and how to monetize and how to get things going. And now that was 2 years ago, actually last month. And I have gotten to the point where I'm making much more than I did working as a nurse. And I still work as a nurse, but I can do it very part-time now, and that allows me to be home with my family, which is really awesome. While my kids are very little, they're not in school yet. So to be able to be home with them as much as I possibly can is great. And, I'll probably pick up more hours at the hospital once they're in school full-time, but to be here now is the most important thing in my life. So that's how I got started. So how did you get started?
Yeah, I mean, that's amazing, Kate. I think that's what else is so wonderful about blogging is that as moms, we don't have a lot of opportunities to earn income and still be able to be with our kids. Are you getting feedback? Okay, I think I'm just going to take these off. Okay.
Oh,
is that better?
Yeah, I mean, I can hear you. Your microphone's good.
Okay. All right. Great. So, yeah, so my story is really similar to yours. I started my blog, when was that? In 2010. And that's when the paleo diet was taking the CrossFit community by storm. And I was an avid CrossFitter, and I was like, well, I'm going to try this because I've struggled with health issues for the last decade. I mean, I had severe headaches and always just feeling really lethargic, and I was following a really healthy diet, a very standard American diet, eating a lot of whole wheat and just low fat, and I was feeling terrible. So when people at the gym start talking about this paleo real food diet, I decided to try it, and then I felt so much better. Like, I mean, I felt like 100% better, and then I couldn't shut up about it. So I was telling my friends and family about it all the time, and one of my best friends, she was like, you need to start a blog. I mean, she probably just really wanted me to be quiet and talk about it. But she kept, I didn't know anything about blogging. I mean, I read some blogs, but I didn't know anything about how to start a blog or anything. And she kept pressuring me to do it. So I was like, I'm just going to do it for 30 days. And I was going to blog for my friends, family, and coworkers, because now there are tons of resources on the paleo diet, which is really, really incredible. But when I started, there were only a few websites, so they all wanted to see how I was eating. So I just set up this like random, I think I went on TypePad. I just tried to look for the most user-friendly way to do it. So I thought it was going to be short term, and really was not the best way to do it. And I've made so many errors that I would really love to teach other moms and bloggers to not do, because it's, if you know the best way to get started, it's just, you'll save yourself so much time, energy, and money. So anyways, I set up this like free type of site, and it was working for a while. And like Kate said, I never thought about making money from it. I worked full time. I worked a full-time corporate job, a really demanding job in high tech, and that was fine. I thought that was going to be my career, even though I wasn't passionate about it. I liked it. It was okay. But the more I got into blogging, I mean, I realized how much more passionate I was about helping people get healthy. Like Kate said, I was a firm believer that starting with real food, and that has to be your base of overall optimal health. So I really wanted to spread that word, and then I learned, then I started kind of researching, connecting with other bloggers. I actually met Kate through a network of bloggers. I started learning how to set up how to blog right. So I had to go through all the energy of transitioning from my free site to a real website, and it was a ton of work, and I hope you guys could avoid that after what we teach you here today. And yes, it started from there, and then eventually I was actually able to, once I had my daughter, I was commuting 3 hours a day to, like I said, a demanding job. I mean, so I was gone like 12 hours a day when she was only a few months old. And I was like, I just couldn't do it anymore. It's just, you know, I mean, moms get it, parents get it. You want to be with your kids. And I was seeing her for about an hour a day. So when she was 1, I was able to actually leave my job and transition to becoming a full-time blogger. And that had a lot to do with learning how to monetize my blog. And that's something we'll cover with you guys here today.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I started out with the WordPress site. I know a lot of people start out with Blogger, and then WordPress is just more user-friendly, and I mean, I think WordPress is where it's at. I mean, can you even do anything with Blogger, really?
I mean, it's really basic. I don't think you could really do much with making money. And it's something to clarify too, it's WordPress.org is where it's at, because WordPress.com is the free version, and that has a lot of limitations.
Mm-hmm. And actually, before we get too detailed, RC has a great blog post that she wrote with all these details in it, and I have one that's in the works that actually will probably be live when I'm going to tack this video on there. So don't feel like frantic, like, oh my gosh, I have to write all this down and remember it all. This video will be able to be watched again and again if you would like, and our blog posts will detail it and have all the resources of where to go to get started, so that you don't make the same mistakes that we did. And have, like, my old site is still out there, my WordPress.com, not WordPress.org. The .com is free. It's still out there. It used to be called Nurse Mom Paleo, and it's really dorky, but it's where I came from, you know, and it's fun to look back and see that it's grown, you know, and I've learned so much over the last 2 years, so it's still floating around out there.
I'll have to go check it out.
Yeah, so the difference, the WordPress.com is a free site, and now if you just want to start up a blog where you just want to have stuff online and you don't want to monetize at all, that's a great platform to have. You just can't have any plugins or ads or affiliate links or anything like that, but you can store content on there. The reason why they provide it to you for free is because they host ads on your site that they monetize on. But then if you want to do a WordPress.com or WordPress.org site, that's so you have their dashboard and the foundation, the structural work of the website, and then you have to have a host that pays to host your website. And we detail all of those. And who do you use, RC, for your host?
For my host, I started out with Bluehost. I think Bluehost is a great one to start out with. And now I use a company called Media Temple just because my traffic's high and being able to have that kind of dedicated support is important right now. But I really recommend for people to start out with Bluehost because you want to start out keeping your costs low. And then as you grow and you're making money, then you could kind of improve and upgrade certain parts of your website. And I just wanted to mention plugins. I just want to explain what that is really quick because that was really confusing for me.
Oh yeah, good point.
Yeah, so plugins are basically like apps for your website, and that's why WordPress.org is so cool, is because anything you want to do, you could search and usually find a free plugin, and so plugins are what's called like open source. So you have different programmers making different plugins, and then you could just like different programmers making different apps. And then all you do is just enable that, and then whatever it is that you want to do then is now enabled on your site. So you have a lot of flexibility. You don't need a developer to build all these different things into your site. And that was something I did not understand when I was when I first started blogging. So that's why WordPress.org is so beneficial, is because you will have a lot of flexibility to make your site do what you want it to do.
Yes, like I didn't know the difference between WordPress.com and .org when I started. I just saw free and went with that after that, But in my blogger networks, I was hearing people say, oh yeah, well I just got that plugin and that does that, and I was like, well that's so cool. I want that on my site. And I didn't realize that you have to have the plugins to do that. And yeah, I mean, it's like enabling social media icons on your website, or having a sign up for an email newsletter, or being able to put advertisements on your site. All of those things require plugins and widgets and stuff, and you can only get those through a paid site.
Yeah, and we're talking about, this is actually very minimal to create a site. So we're not talking thousands of dollars here or anything. No. That's what, when I started getting quotes from designers, I was getting some really big quotes, but then I learned that it was actually really, really simple to get this all set up, and it won't cost you very much money. I don't know, maybe like under $100 to get the site set up.
My little guy. I have the baby monitor on here. He's stirring, but he's going back to sleep. So.
You see him
Huh? Yeah. I mean, this is how it is, staying home. But yeah. I mean, you can get a hosting set up for super cheap. Bluehost is like less than $5 a month, and it grows when you get more traffic and stuff. But if you learn how to do it right from the beginning, then it can be way cheaper. And there's websites out there, or there's like Fiverr.com. People will do things for $5. You can have somebody help you get a site set up for $5. Things like that. So there's lots of resources out there.
There are. So one of the first things you want to do is choose your name and buy your domain name, and really take the time to think about your name. Make sure it's clear, it's going to be easy to remember, easy to type in. It's going to brand you well, because that name will be your brand going forward. Even if you think it's going to be a fun little blog, both Kate and I started out thinking these were going to be fun little blogs, not realizing it's going to be our careers. So if I love my blog's name, but if I had thought about it in a career way, I may have chosen something a little different. So if you are, let's say, a paleo blogger, kind of want to work that into the name, because then when you're on social media, people quickly recognize what you do and follow you. You get more followers if your name is clear. Like, I love Kate's Real Food RN. You know exactly what she is.
But I wasn't. I wasn't done with that. I mean, it was Nurse Mom Paleo first, and somebody suggested to me, so are you always going to have that name? And I'm like, ooh, it is a bad name, isn't it? And it was. And so I switched, and I think I had 10 blog posts up at that point. So, I mean, it was very small and under the radar. But yes, I agree 100%. It has to be a name that you love, a name that you can say easily. If you're in an elevator speech with someone, telling them what you do, you don't want it to be something where they're like, okay, so how do you spell that? I got to write that down, because you want them to remember it later when they get home and they're like, oh, I met this really cool person today and she told me about her blog, and what was it called again? Something that's easy to remember and to spell.
Absolutely. Yeah. So as soon as you have that name, go to a site like GoDaddy or Bluehost and purchase it. And it's really inexpensive. It's like $10 a year to purchase your domain. So you buy that, and then what do you do next? Do you want to talk about the next part?
Well, and make sure, now I had this happen to me, make sure that you sign up with an email that you use a lot. I had signed up through an old Yahoo account that I didn't have. I don't know why I did that, but I never checked it, and there was my domain name expired. Oh. And all of a sudden one day I went on, like, I can't get on my website, like, what's going on? And then I found out that it was because it had expired. And I have heard from other people that people can come and steal your domain name when it expires. So if someone had logged on and wanted my domain name, they could have gotten it. So always make sure that or you can, pay 3 years ahead and stuff like that. And that's what I now do. But lesson learned.
And even if you are starting this thinking you're going to be a serious blogger, a quick tip is buy the 3 or 5 year, because the Google ranking likes that better, because they think you're more serious about your website. So you'll rank higher in Google. So that's just a little tip. You don't have to do that from the beginning, but that's just something to remember.
So once you've gotten that, and you've gotten like Bluehost or whatever set up, and you have all your platform all ready to go, then you need to create content. And I mean, you have to write about something you love. You can't be like, I want to write a paleo blog because those are really popular right now, and I think I could probably make a lot of money doing a paleo blog. Like, if you're not living it and you don't know a lot about it, it's going to feel like work. It's going to be a huge, I mean, it is work, but it's going to feel like work, and you're not going to enjoy it. Like, I thoroughly enjoy blogging because I love coming up with recipes. I love recipe hacking. Like, I like finding a food that I've always enjoyed and finding out an easier way to make it, or a healthier way to make it, or like cutting corners, and I love that kind of stuff. So when I create blog posts, it's very enjoyable to me. I get a lot of dopamine going on up here. It's exciting. So you want to have something that's good, and so and then you need to learn how to take good pictures of it as well, because you can write a post that's amazing and it's got great content and you're super passionate about it, but when you put it out there, people don't read things anymore. They scan. So if you don't have a catchy title and a nice picture on that post, a lot of times you're not going to get the clicks that you need. The content could be great, but if you don't have good pictures and good titles, you're not going to get as much readership as you'd like. So there's a lot of tools, and we link to these in our blog posts as well. There's something called Pinch of Yum. There's lots of books out there that you can read about how to take pictures of food, how to take pictures of whatever it is that you want to blog about so it's eye-catching, and then how to generate titles for your posts.
Yeah, that's exactly. The titles were something I really didn't know about in the beginning. I would put cute, funny titles, which are really terrible for SEO. And if you're not familiar with SEO, that's basically how Google ranks your posts and how people find your posts. So you could, you could just Google things like how to write good titles, and you will come up with some great posts that some other business writers have written about how to write catchy titles. And as far as if food is your thing, I've read a lot of food photography books, but the Pinch of Yum and the new one, what is that new one called again, Kate?
It's Eat Pretty Things.
Eat Pretty Things and Pinch of Yum's ebooks, and you'll find these in our blog posts, are by far the best. They're just much more practical than any of the official books I've read. They just really walk you through the steps. And then another thing is, if food is not what you're blogging about, if you're blogging about things like DIY recipes, that's great to take your own pictures too, but you can also sometimes use stock photos. Also use nice stock photos. If you're writing a health article, you don't need to like take up, something that you don't need personal pictures of. So take advantage of those sites. They're really expensive, inexpensive, not expensive. They're really inexpensive, like $1 or $2 per photo. And yeah, that could really help. Just, people like visuals to break down all the content. So, and really quick, I wanted to recap, just because I know this can be confusing, so about how to start a website. These are all in more detail, like Kate said in our post. But I just want to recap the things you need. Is you need to buy your domain name. You need to go to WordPress.org and register with them. And then you need a host, which you could do through Bluehost. And like Kate said, that's only $5 a month to start. And then the other thing you need is to buy a theme. So I had no idea what buying a theme meant when I started. That basically is the website template. So it's already made for you, and you'll find links to that in our posts too. And those are really inexpensive, like around $50, and we go into more detail about which themes to use and everything. But that's, I just wanted to clarify that. So that theme is what your website will look like. So that'll be the one other thing you have to purchase. So that's all right there under $100 to start a real website. I mean, a more professional website, and I wish I had known that it was actually that inexpensive, and I wouldn't have gone with a more user-friendly site that was hosted someplace else, and then transitioning that over later is kind of a nightmare. So I think, my recommendation is just start professionally, even if it's just a hobby.
Exactly, because it's so inexpensive. Like she said, I mean, I think even with Bluehost, if you sign on for like 36 months, it's less than like $3 something a month. Yeah. It's crazy cheap, and the domain name $10 a year, and then the theme, and you just buy the theme once. You buy it, it's a package, you upload it to your site, boom, you have your theme, and that's the fun part. I mean, I like it anyway. I'm a very visual person, so I love setting up the theme and tweaking the site to make it look nicer, and kind of, talking to other people about what their visual experience is when they're on my site. Like if they find that this is really annoying, or this really works, or this is really cool. Like, I love that, and I love going to other people's websites and being like, oh my gosh, that header is totally awesome, or I love all the white space, or I love this or that. I like that. I think it's really fun. So doing the theme can really actually be a ton of fun. It's like a little art project for you.
It is. It brings your project to life for sure. So, but sorry, I took us off track. I just wanted to make sure I recap that, because I know for Kate and I, we've been doing this for so long that it's second nature, but I just clearly remember how confused I was at the beginning, because I just struggled a lot to do this right, and I really hope for other people to not go through what I went through.
Oh, yeah.
But back to the photos, like Kate was saying, it's really important to have nice photos. And another tip is Pinterest is a great traffic driver to our blogs, even more so than Facebook these days. And so you want to include in each blog post a horizontal photo, because that will do better on Facebook, and then a vertical photo, because if you've ever been on Pinterest, you know that the vertical photos stand out. So I always recommend doing a vertical photo with some text. Just make it look really nice and clean and pretty. But people on Pinterest really love that, because they could quickly see what your post is about. They see the picture, they see the text, and they know if they want to click or repin it. So if you go to either one of our blogs, you'll always see that we always have vertical photos.
And they say, too, to make sure that the text is readable for if you were looking on your phone and squinting. Like if you're looking, because I mean, when you're on your phone, the vertical photos are obviously a lot smaller. So if you're kind of looking at your phone and squinting at it, if you can still read what it says, that's good. So you want it to stand out. Like I've gone through such a learning curve with the photos on my website. It's just, my first photos.
Oh my gosh, same here. But you know what? Don't think you have to be the perfect photographer from the start.
No.
Just think about a skill you're going to hone as you go, but pay attention to it. Try to get better as you go. Because when I started out, oh my goodness, if you go back and dig to my first entries, I think I hit a bunch of them already because they're so bad. I mean, I was taking pictures with my iPhone, and some people actually take amazing iPhone pictures. But so don't feel pressure that you have to get this all right from the beginning, but just pay attention to working on it and improving it as you go.
Yeah, and actually, a lot of those books that we mentioned, The Pinch of Yum and stuff, they talk about getting a nice camera. And as you know, that can be quite a financial investment. So don't feel pressured to have to buy a really fancy camera to take your photos. I had a point and shoot up until a month ago. I finally just bought my first real camera. And not saying that my photos on my blog are amazing or anything. I mean, I've come a long way from where I started, but I still have a long ways to go. Food photography is on my to-do list. I am studying those books right now and trying to learn how to use my fancy new camera. But by all means, you can start with an iPhone. I mean, Diane Sanfilippo, I think she did all of her pictures of Practical Paleo with an iPhone.
Oh, no way. Oh, my goodness. Yeah,
I know. She said that in the intro.
Oh, really? Wow. Yeah, I mean, I know some people that take great iPhone pictures. So just with anything else, it's a transition. Just pay attention to it and start where you can. And then as you grow and your blog's making money, then you could upgrade some of these things.
And don't compare yourself to others either. That is one of my biggest things. The network that I got into, that RC and I were in, there was huge bloggers that I had been following for years in there, and then, little old me comes in there, and I'm like, oh my gosh, I want to swim with the big fish. And they had been doing it for years. They had gone through all the learning curves, and yes, their blogs were amazing, but they grew them organically. And if you feel like you want to be this other blogger so bad and you want to just like copycat everything they do, your voice is not going to come out in your blog. Like, let it grow organically. Just put your passion into it, and you will find your voice, and then it will grow way more than if you're trying to just mimic another blog that you really, really enjoy. I mean, certainly use them as ideas, but a lot of people will say, I want to do exactly what you're doing. It's like, no, do exactly what you're passionate about, and then you will be successful.
Absolutely, absolutely. And so when we're talking about, most people start out as a hobby, but people don't realize it takes a lot of work to run a blog.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's like from developing the recipes, photographing them, posting them, editing them. It is super fun stuff. We love doing it, but it is a ton of work on the back end. And as you grow, you actually end up having a lot of emails to manage from companies that want to work with you and this and that. So when it really comes down to it, I say this in my post, if you want to do this long term, you have to make some money, because it takes a lot of time away from your family and your personal life. And it's a great hobby, but you have to at least be able to cover your costs. So in the beginning, that's not so much something to worry about, but as you grow and you're just that's just something that you will have to think about. And what's so great is you don't have to be able to quit your job like we did. If that's a goal, it's totally doable. But some people just want to make some extra income to save for vacations, save for their kids' college, So what's so great about this is that it's really about sharing what you love and helping people get healthy, but you can also make a living at the same time. Or to me, that's my dream job, is helping people. I mean, I have to be able to dedicate my time to do this, so I have to be able to make some money from it.
Mm-hmm.
So.
Oh yeah, definitely. And I think it's what you put into it is what you get out too. Like, I get a lot of people ask me, oh, I think I want to start a blog, and it's like, well, awesome, great. I was that person at one point too, but
yeah.
You do have to realize that if you want to make money and you want to be able to quit your job, you will have to make this your job. I mean, in order to have your content shared, and I mean, networking is so huge. You need to find a network. I mean, if you go on Facebook, there's a million groups out there. Find a group that's in your niche, and start learning from them. And as you network, you're going to have all the major social media accounts. I mean, well, at least the big ones, Pinterest and Facebook, on your site, so your stuff is getting shared. Well, with that comes reader comments and lots of private messages and lots of emails. And I don't have an assistant. I personally answer all of that, and I'm pretty anal about keeping my inbox very small. So every night I'm answering emails, I'm answering questions, I'm answering comments on my blog, I'm answering, social media. So you have to be ready for if it starts to grow, you're going to get more busy, and hopefully monetize more, and you can maybe hire a virtual assistant to help you out or something like that. But it does take a lot of time.
It does. But I think what's so incredible about it, if you're willing to be dedicated and committed to it, you can make this a job. It's just up to you. You can do it. So I think that's just, I love that about this. And it's been so great connecting with so many moms that have been able to do what we do. I thought I'd be working my corporate job and away from my kid 50, 60 hours a week. I thought that was just like how my life was going to be. And it's been great that it isn't. And I wanted to add on to what Kate said about the networking. That's so important. For the first couple of years, I was blogging and not really connecting with other bloggers, and I was so doing it by myself, and I think that's why I made so many mistakes. So really connect with other bloggers in your niche. Like, read their blogs, comment on their blogs, because people notice the comments you leave on their blog posts, because we don't get those as much anymore since everything's on social media. Share their stuff. I know when you are trying to connect with other bloggers, approach it like, what can I do to help you? And then those people will start to reciprocate that. They will notice that. Get on Instagram. Instagram is a great place. It's not, you can't share clickable links to your posts, but it's a great place to connect with other bloggers. Follow people, comment on their feed. People notice stuff like that, and that's how I made a lot of connections. I've made some great friends actually on Instagram that are other bloggers that I've now become real life friends with because they don't live too far away from me. And so just get out there and connect with people, because you'll learn so much from other bloggers.
Mm-hmm. And my husband calls them my imaginary friends because, yeah, so many people, you know. But one of the things I would say, too, is there's a lot of people who get started and they think that if you go and you know, follow other blogs and you just comment to leave a comment to get your name showing up on their blog, or you see this a lot in Instagram, they'll just make a, you know, nice pic just so that their profile name comes up under your picture and stuff. Like, don't be spammy. Like, genuinely want to go help. Like, I follow a lot of really big blogs that I just think they're awesome. I share their content all the time. Yeah. And I tag them when I share it, you know, to say, hey, I follow your blog. I think what you're doing is great, and I'm sharing it with my followers. And I don't do that with the intention of expecting them to in turn share my content, but oftentimes they do because they're like, hey, you know, we have a lot of similar content. I think I'm going to share some of your stuff. And so if you're genuine about it and you take the approach of you want to help them rather than, hey, look at me, I have something that's similar to you, can you share my stuff? Don't do that. You know, help them first, and then, you know, maybe they'll turn around and say, you know, cool, I'll share some of your stuff too.
Yeah, because they'll notice you and they'll be, yeah, just think about it how you're adding value. It's like you're adding value to the person, you're sharing their content, you're adding value to your readers by sharing something valuable. So that's how I always try to think about it. Like, is this content that I'm sharing adding value to my readers and even to the person that I'm trying to get their stuff out there? So just kind of like Kate said, yeah, think about it in that way. And if you have the attitude of how I can help everyone around me, it will totally come back to you. People notice that. They notice authenticity, how genuine you are, and they'll start sharing your work, because it's really hard just to get all your work out there by yourself. You know, I mean, at some people they've gotten really big and they have that audience, but yeah, so just connect with bloggers your same size and ask them if they want to collaborate on something, you know, so just things like that. So that's, yeah, networking has been really a big part of my business growing.
Mm-hmm. And then as you grow and as you get more traffic, then people are going to come in and see how you monetize. So should we do that next?
Yes. Let's talk about
the golden nugget. Everybody always wants to know, well, how do you make money with a blog?
Yes. Yeah, and people ask me that. My friends and family ask me that question because it's hard to grasp concept.
Mm-hmm. And it's a hard topic to talk about. I started my blog with the intention of not getting paid for it, and I have a very, very hard time. I'm not a salesperson. I don't like selling things. I don't like asking people for money for things. So the way that I monetize on my blog is through ads on the sidebar and within the posts, and through affiliate links. So if somebody clicks on your link, like through Amazon is one of the affiliate companies that I work with, and that's probably the best one to start with. They click on your link that you have. Like, say I do a post on with an unusual ingredient, like my elderberry syrup. That's a pretty popular post on my blog, and I link to where you can order the elderberries online. Well, now if somebody purchases that through my link, I get a percentage. It's anywhere from 4 to 8% with Amazon, and you generate a cookie, which means that if they purchase anything else in 24 hours, I think it's 24 hours, right?
24-hour cookie. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, there's a 24-hour cookie, and I mean, I've had people buy sets of luggage before, and you make a percentage of that. So I mean, depending on, you know, how many clicks you're getting and what people are buying and stuff, you can make, you know, nice money, but it's very variable. You know, if you make a chunk one month, that's not guaranteed that you're going to make that same chunk next month. So that's why you should have numerous sources of income so that you can kind of even out and, you know, make a steady income from it. But Amazon is a good one to start with, and then you can partner up with other companies, the companies that you believe in. I mean, don't go gung-ho and, you know, join affiliates with every single company out there to just get clicks, because you can join other companies through their affiliate program and make percentages of what they sell, like, you know, 24% of some supplements that someone orders, or a shoe company, or things that are complementary to your blog. Because if you put too many affiliates in there and make it obvious that you're just affiliating the heck out of everything, it might turn some people off. So I basically use my affiliate links as resources, because it's here's where you can find the elderberries, here's where you can find this. And then, I mean, recently I had my affiliate links out there. There was an earthing shoe company that was having a big sale. Well, I personally have several pairs of those shoes, so does my husband. We love them. We think they're great. So I put it out there, hey guys, they're having an 80% off sale right now. You know, scoop these up. And I mean, I did it because so they would buy through my link, but also because, I mean, 80% off, that's a huge savings on those shoes because they're kind of expensive. So I shared it with my readers, and it's just that kind of stuff. Like, share things that you really love and that is relevant to your content, and then people will click on it.
Yeah, absolutely. And just to add to that, my attitude is I only promote brands that I wholeheartedly believe in. I will only promote things that I would personally use in my home, and most of the time I personally do use. So, and before, when I was first blogging, I wasn't including these links, I would always get questions like, where do I buy that? What brand is that? What brand do you use? So at first I felt funny doing affiliate links. I was like, I don't know, I didn't want my readers to think I was just putting links out there just to make money. But I would get a ton of questions, and I realized my readers, they want that information. They want to know. They're following me because they want to learn how I'm doing things. So that's actually just providing them the resources they need to be able to do the same thing in their home. So
exactly. And I get a ton of comments that people say, well, thank you so much for including those resource links so I knew where to get that stuff.
Yes, exactly. And to add to the earthing shoes that Kate's talking about, I saw her post and I was like, oh my gosh, I actually bought the earthing shoes from her link, and they're so cute. I bought like 3 pairs, and then next time they were having a sale, I literally took a picture of my feet wearing them on my iPhone, and I posted it to my Facebook when I said, and I explained what earthing shoes are. You know, always add value, because sometimes everybody doesn't know what earthing shoes are. So I was like, do the earthing shoes. They're so cute. I love them. They're super comfortable. And I actually got a lot of sales. So get personal. Like, I took a picture of me wearing them so my readers knew I do genuinely love and use this product. So so affiliate links, but but Amazon is a great one to start with because so many people use Amazon. Everybody uses Amazon. So sometimes they'll click on your link just to see, oh, what kind of elderberry is Kate using? But they don't buy it right then. The next day they go to buy your toothpaste or whatever. So that cookie's still in there. So basically you make a percentage off of anything they buy, and people use Amazon so much that is a really effective way to earn some income. So.
Definitely.
Yes, I would start with Amazon and then start kind of slowly adding other smaller brands. And I like working with smaller brands too because I love their product. I also want to support their business. So, but yeah, so just be selective, and I'd say start with Amazon and start adding some other affiliates. And then Kate had also mentioned ads. Surprisingly, as your traffic grows, although it's not that pretty to have ads on your site, but you do need to be able to make money, like I said, to do this in the long term. The ads do well, and the ads you want to start out with are Google AdSense. So you could just sign up for a Google AdSense account, and you could read more about it on their site about how to put it onto your site. And so those are great. Those definitely generate some income. And then there's just like affiliates and other ad companies. I would say just start with Google so you don't overwhelm yourself. And then if you get more into this, you can start researching other ad companies.
And it does take a while. I mean, it was a while ago that I set up the ads, but there's like an approval process you have to go through with AdSense too. So, I mean, just get the foundation, get your name, join Amazon as an affiliate, start playing around with those links. Another thing is, and I detail this in my post, you do have to disclose your affiliate relationship, meaning that you have to let people know that you are in fact making money on these links. And I have it as a disclaimer on my site. At the base of all my posts, I have affiliate disclosure. They can click on that. It takes them to my policies and procedures and everything. So it's full disclosure that they know that you're making money if they click on your link. So
yeah, if you go to our sites, you'll see that example. And then another way, just to add, that's kind of similar to the Amazon, is how I make money is sometimes I do sponsored posts. So that's basically a company pays me to review their product. But even with those, I'm very selective. I only want to, I want to keep my blog's quality high. And I've seen bloggers go crazy that it totally start going off market and sponsoring everything and anything. Because, yeah, it's nice. Somebody just gives you a check to review their product, but I think it's really important to be selective there. I definitely turn down a lot of sponsored posts because they're not on brand. They're not a product I would use, so they're not a product. I want to be very genuine with my audience. I want to add value to them. So I do a couple. I try and limit my sponsored posts. Like I'll try and do 2, maybe 3 a month during like the holidays when I have a lot more people coming to me that wanting to do it. But I always pick brands that I actually love and use. So as you grow, that's not an opportunity that will come up in the beginning. But as you grow, that will be another way you can make money.
Yeah, and definitely stay on brand. I just think that's so important. I get, because I'm Real Food RN, I get approached by a ton of like supplements and like basically like medication type stuff. You know, like here's a pill, take this and you'll lose weight. Like I get all these free samples in the mail and all this stuff, and that's not what I'm about. If I started, you know, I could probably make some pretty decent money, you know, advocating for this stuff, but that's not what I'm about at all. And it would be such a huge sellout to my followers who follow me for recipes and like healthy living through healthy food. So I don't do it. I would much rather be genuine to my audience and promote stuff that's real and that I believe in than make an extra couple $100, you know, promoting something that I don't believe in.
Absolutely. And being strategic like that, using your time wisely, will help you make more money in the long run. So
exactly.
Just don't give in to those temptations as your blog grows, because you will start getting a lot of offers. So yeah, so those are some of the few ways. And then should we talk a little? Oh, and one more thing. Another way a lot of bloggers make money is creating your own product. So both Kate and I have ebooks you could find on Amazon. So creating ebooks, and that could be a webinar for like a whole nother day, but I'll just mention it really quick. So doing your own digital books that you could sell on Amazon, or just PDFs on your site, courses. So those are all ways that as you grow and you have a niche, you could start making money. Is he okay, Kate?
I don't. He looks like he's going back to sleep.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, I think we touched on. And what was I going to say? Do we want to talk about newsletter lists at all, or is that too much?
Oh, I think we should definitely mention that, because I had wished somebody had told me that in the very beginning.
I think I'm gonna really quick. I'm gonna let you talk about that.
Yeah,
I'm gonna go grab him and bring him down here. Okay?
Yeah, go for it. I'll talk about that. Okay, so you will find this information in my post too about how to start a blog, and I'm sure in Kate's post as well. But having a newsletter list is so important. Even if you're brand new, create a newsletter and start collecting those addresses, even if you're not going to send out a newsletter very often yet. And here's why. For a long time, I relied on social media to bring traffic to my blog. Facebook was the #1 way people came to my blog. And I was totally okay with that. I didn't really give much thought to anything else. But at the end of the day, we don't own Facebook. Like, you don't own your readers on Facebook. That's controlled by Facebook. So as Facebook changes the rules, you get less and less access to your readers. And a lot of us that have been blogging for a long time didn't anticipate that coming, because for a long time we could shoot out a note and all of our readers would see it. So what's so important about the newsletter list is those are people that are your dedicated audience. They're the ones that are going to come to your post because you're going to tell them in their email box, which is just their personal way for you to contact them. When you have launched a product to sell, that is your dedicated audience. Those are the people you could reach to sell a product. So if you really want to do this as a career, growing that newsletter list should be your #1 priority. And one of the best ways to grow your list is to offer something valuable for free in return. Maybe some top 10 recipes if you're a recipe site, some top 10 tips for healthy living, whatever your niche is. If you're a crafting blog, your top 10 crafting projects. So you just make a small PDF, and then when they sign up, they get that in return. But just focus on just collecting those early. There are a couple services you could use. I use MailChimp. It's really easy to use, and the first 2,000 are free. There's Aweber, and I know Kate uses one called Mad Mimi. But just Google newsletter subscribe services. Find one that jives with you, and we'll include links. There are links in both of our posts for that. But yeah, so that's just a little tip. Just work on that newsletter. You don't even have to do much. You could for starters, you don't even have to offer a freebie, even though that will help grow it. Just have that on the page where they could sign up. Because as your blog grows, that list will grow, and no matter what Facebook does, no matter what Instagram changes, what Twitter changes, you will always be able to access your core audience.
Yeah, because I mean, boy, that Facebook news feed, it used to be so good, and now it's just nothing. So you can always send out an offer to an email list, but you can put it out to Facebook, and only 1% of your following will actually see it. So
exactly, and I used to get upset about that, but then I was like, you know what? It's their business. They don't have to let me advertise for free. So That's why on the things that you own. Hi! Hi. Oh, so nice to see you. Okay.
She makes an appearance in a lot of these, so.
That's awesome. See, mom life, we could do that. In my corporate job, there's just no way I could have been like, oh, I'm in a meeting. I brought my infant with me.
Exactly. I know. That's what's so awesome about this. I mean, with my other kids, I went back to work after 3 months, and now he's 4 months old, and I've only gone back one day.
Oh, that's so amazing. And that's how it should be. It's like moms have it really tough. And at least I mean, I'm sure we have listeners from everywhere, but in the U.S., moms have it really tough with maternity leave. And we get very little time with our little ones. So, so if you want a different future for yourself, it really is doable. And I think that's something I didn't know for a long time until I started meeting women that are doing it.
Mm-hmm.
So do we want to maybe talk about, start talking about maybe about how we make money with some of the things we're doing?
Yeah, I mean, like you can do affiliates and ads and just do that, or you can partner up with bigger things like meal plan services or things where it's a little bit more, you get more payout, more affiliate money, or you can actually start with businesses that are complementary to your website. Like RC and I both do essential oils because we were both using them and they are complementary to the content. I was writing lots of posts with oils in it already. And so I just started up, and that has become another big source of income for me. And that's the reason why I wasn't able, or don't have to go back full time after my maternity leave.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, actually, I've been blogging for a long time, but I mean, I think 5 years now. But essential oils I've been doing since I think May, and it's become my #1 revenue source. And it doesn't have to be essential oils for you. It should always be something you believe in and that's associated with your market. But essential oils, like Kate said, fit really well into our blogs. They're something we were both already using, and now, we're both already using them, and they're health related. So they're all about promoting overall health, which is what we are all about, is promoting health naturally. So what I really like about this model is, so essential oils are a network marketing model. And I had I just had bad connotations. I'd never done a network marketing model, but I don't know. You hear all these horror stories. It's like, oh, it's a pyramid scheme and all this stuff. So I thought it was something I would never do. But as I started to learn about it, I actually realized it's a really brilliant model when it's done really well. And we're both with Young Living. It's a 20-year-old company, so they've been doing this for a long time. And basically, I mean, at first I thought it's a robust affiliate program, because an affiliate program is you make a sale, you make a percentage of that sale. With essential oils, those people become your customers. So you will forever make a percentage of their sales, but the compensation plans are so generous and they go way beyond that. You basically have a business. So you still can treat it like an affiliate program the way you work it into your blog, but that little section of Young Living is yours. How you manage that business, how you grow that business, those customers are yours. And the compensation plan goes way beyond that percentage you make. You make profit share, and the compensation plan is really, really generous and really incredible. But what I like about it is it's sustainable. I mean, it's a business. It's not just my affiliate accounts that zero out every month and then I have to start again with my Amazon clicks. It's like I'm creating a base of customers. And I was actually, before the show, I was telling Kate that I was just reading the policy and procedures, and as Kate and I both do this for a living, we contribute to our families. So this is something we have to think about. It might seem a little morbid to say, is that we have to think about what were to happen to us. Like, this is, it's like something happened to us, like what would happen to our businesses, because we are our brand. And I was just reading another article from a business writer for bloggers talking about how that's something you got to set up your business in a way that if something were to happen to you, your family would be okay. And that's another thing I really liked about the essential oils and the policies and procedures. They talk about if something happens to you, it goes to your heir, the business that you built. So it's like a real business. Like no other affiliate program is just it just doesn't have that built in to the structure, that I could actually build a real business within my blog brand, that would get passed on, and if something were to happen to me, I've built a strong business now that my family could still rely on that, and they could still jump in and manage that. So I thought that was really neat about the essential oils.
Yeah, I mean, and there's lots of other companies. So that's one of the beautiful things about having a blog, is that you gain an audience because of what your brand is and what you're speaking about, and then you can find complementary businesses that go along with you. Like I'm part of a meal plan service, and I'm part of essential oils, and those are things that I was able to partner up with because it's something that I believe in, but now I make money off of it, and I can bring it to a broader audience, which is really cool. So as you grow and further develop exactly what your brand is, there's more things that you can partner with to make, I mean, passive income essentially.
Absolutely. Yeah, and I think if and it's not, and this is some people don't realize, it's not like no work to get started. It definitely, you definitely have to be dedicated to it and committed to blogging to be able to make this your job. But just like your regular job, you'd have to go to work and be dedicated to it, right? But what's nice is, like Kate says, it becomes passive income. Like an essential oils business, you work really hard in the beginning, 6 months to a year, and build that, you will actually end up putting less time in the long run. And that's, that's what else I really like about what we do, is that it is a lot of work, but we have this opportunity to be more passive. Because it's like, look at how cute this little guy is. Like, he wants to hang out with him and not be working all day long every day, So.
Well, and that's. Oh, sorry, I interrupted you.
No, that's it. I was just going to hand it off to you.
Like my dream, this is dorky, but our dream was to get an RV to drive around the country, because when we lived out on the West Coast, we lived out in Southern California for a couple of years, and when we came home, we drove across the country home and just stopped. We took a month and we just stopped wherever we wanted to stop, and we didn't have kids yet, and we just would like stay in a hotel, and if it was a really cute hotel, like there was one in Utah, we stayed for several nights. It was awesome. And we are now at the point where we can afford to buy an RV, and we are going to buy one next month. We're really excited. It's a used one. It's not, brand spanking new $800,000, all the bells and whistles, but it's nice, and we're excited. And with my blog now, I mean, how many people are on their smartphones or their computers when they wake up in the morning? How many people are on their smartphones and their computers before they go to bed at night? Well, that's exactly what we're doing. It's just that we're not just strolling through the news feed on our Facebook. We're actually, working on stuff. So you can do this remotely. Like, we'll go camping somewhere. I can get up in the morning, get on my computer, get on my phone, do some work for an hour or two, and then go play for the rest of the day and have fun. And we can go, camping places for several weeks, if my husband can rearrange meetings and stuff with his job. So it gives you this freedom. And I mean, I was, when I wasn't at the hospital, I was playing around on my phone and my computer all the time anyway. So now it's just, I'm getting paid to do it,
Absolutely. Yeah, that part is really awesome. And things, we love what we do. When I was at my old job and I had to work on my vacation because something important had to get done, I dreaded it. But now it's like, I'm excited. I want to get that out. So. But yeah, so do we have anything else that we want to cover?
I think that's it. I mean, we didn't want to go too technical because it's, it can be a lot to swallow, but like I mentioned in the beginning, we're going to embed this video into the blog posts that we have all of the details, all of the links necessary to just kind of take you through the process step by step, so you do it right the first time and save a lot of money, time, blood, sweat, and tears, and get a business going. So it's pretty exciting. I wish I would have run across something like this when I was getting started.
Oh my gosh, this would have changed everything for me. So yeah, hopefully you guys found this useful and you didn't make the same mistakes we did when you get started.
Yeah. So feel free to leave comments below or questions or message us personally through our blogs with any questions. And I hope that you found this informational.
All right. Thanks for joining.